Alright. Welcome back to the coronavirus catastrophe. Tonight's special broadcast is again being shown live in video from the Chris Pollard Live Community Contact Centre with help from our friends over there at Ivermectin Interactive. So if you want to watch along, you can with help from our friends over there at mixcloud.com/live/Durham on air. If you are just joining us early, we were slightly affected by the effect of a power cut. So if you saw the first 15 minutes of the show, you're in a very spectacular group because no one's ever going to see that again. That has been wiped from history. Wiped. Earlier on as well, in that first 80 minutes, I placed 8 different bowls of soup around County Durham, and in one of them, it contains my home phone number. If you can ring that number by the end of tonight, I'll report you to the police. Earlier on the show, I also revealed tonight's big question, which was quite simply, what can I do to feel better? The responses have been varied, but they have been flying into us quicker than a swan covered in Red Bull and Danish caffeine. First up, Mark has tweeted that he's found relief when he was in bed with the illness by putting his... No, I'm not going to read that one actually. Next up, Sandy has emailed to say, just get over yourself, you big pathetic purple-headed scrote. Well, it's good to know at least someone's watching the video stream at least. Well, it's a sort of a thanks to Sandy. Donnie Maxtra has emailed also. They're suggesting that I may find the pain will ease after 2 scoops of his homemade mystery ice cream. And that's it. Well, fantastic. Well, if you could just mail that over to me at once, I'll give you a review on the next Chris Pollard Live for sure. And finally, we've got one in from Gary. When I had COVID, the only thing that brought me comfort was knowing that I had probably been infected on the bus by a lady with large breasts and nicely symmetrical teeth. I mean, I'm glad that brings you comfort, but it's not going to help me out too much because I received my dose, it seems like, from the bloke who comes and cleans your windows by breathing on them and going clockwise and sort of counterclockwise with an old bandage. But it's my fault anyway. That's what I get for getting drunk the night before and smashing all the windows and not telling him. But that's what a good episode of Corrie will do to you these days, let me tell you. Keep those answers coming in for a shot at a grand prize. But until then, let's hear some of the winners of prizes last week. That means last week's winners. Last week's winners. First up on last week's winners, our weekly Contraceptive Club giveaway was given away and won by Gertrude Poultry, an 85-year-old widower from Seaham. She has let me know this because she is willing to give the prizes away to anyone who needs them. She only entered the contest because she loves answering questions about European cheeses. They're ready to collect at her address, and she states she wouldn't mind you coming and at least trying them on first, so you don't take home the wrong size and we have to go over this whole palaver once more. Also in last week's winners, our quarterly edition of Radio Operation has been won by steady-fingered listener Bruce Cutie. He managed to perform his patient's full double bypass while on the phone to us here at Chris Pollard Live last week, while we tried to put him off with silly sound effects. Both he and his patient will be sent their prizes of £15 and £10 respectively at some point in the next week or two. Lastly, in last week's winners, our Chris Pollard Live Wrestler of the Week was Darren the Spurt with the Hurt Spurt. The strapping 5-footer sent us a number of videos throughout the past week of his grapples with his dog, a few garden rodents, and the lollipop lady near his son's school. I love his attitude. I gotta say, I love your moves. I love the way you've clearly not shaken after you've gone to the toilet and you've dribbled down the front of your lycra. It's a good touch. If it's intentional or not, I don't care. You win my personal copy of WWF Unlimited 1999. That was my first ever wrestling VHS, which I managed to get signed at Sheffield Super Bowl by European champion, the Bachelor of Bruisers, William Acorn. Along with chucked in the prize, I'm going to throw you in 2 free sessions with a highly recommended psychiatrist. Highly recommended. She won't talk to me anymore. That's all of your winners for last week's winners. Get involved tonight and you could be one of last week's winners. Join us after this ad break. But before that, against all logic, what's this song called? This house is all I have. You are all I have, Durham on Air, until the power takes us apart once more. Chris Pollard live. These ain't your mama's false teeth. Welcome back to Chris Pollard live. The coronavirus catastrophe, and what a catastrophe it has been so far, I'm sure you'll agree. It is 10 to 10, which means our 10 to 10 sponsor tonight is Hazeldorf's Pharmaceuticals, specialising in paracetamol, ibuprofen and other easily stolen supermarket brand medication. Some more of your personal pledges have arrived here tonight. How are you going to improve your local area? Nigel has texted in to say he pledges to clean up his neighbourhood by only fly tipping in adjoining neighbourhoods. That's a very smart idea. We've had an email in from brassy-haired Claire. I pledge to reuse my light bulbs when they blow by repurposing them into throwable weapons. That's very innovative. And Tim, my area has been long overdue a makeover, so I pledge to spend the next week applying lipstick and eyeliner to every 1 by 1 metre square of grass in my local park. There was some music by Niles Barkley. There was Who's Gonna Save My Soul? Who only knows? Still to come, we got music from Lee Scratch Perry, Minor Threat, The White Stripes, Sleaford Mods, Black Sabbath, System of a Down. What? Are you serious? On a night like tonight when we're trying to feel better? Of course. If you want to get your pledge in or indeed answer tonight's big question, how on earth can I feel better feeling like this? Then text studio plus your message, that is studio plus your message to 88802. That's 88802. You can email studio@durhamonair.com. You can tweet @durhamonair. Now, I previously mentioned earlier in the program, but you probably, if you're watching this or listening to it later, you won't know because we were cut off early. Chris Pollard Live itself is a child of the pandemic. We found ourselves way back in those troubling times back in 2020, and at that point, the only real focus of our lives for all that time was the pandemic. It was the only real focus of the news and all our attention, so I made a personal pledge of my own to never bring it up on the air, but I've got it now, and I feel like I'm part of the crew. The time's passed, you see, the laws have all relaxed, and we are once again focusing primarily on the errors and propaganda of our current government. COVID-19 has finally decided it's time for us to laugh at it again by giving it to me not only as an annoying illness, but as a potential centerpiece prop for a full 2-hour special. There are other subjects out there that I will, however, refuse to joke about until they affect me directly. I'm not a monster, I'm not an evil person. I like to hold out until I know just how severe it's going to affect me. Is there a list? Yes, there is. I've got it right here. So here are just a few on my list of forbidden topics never to be discussed on the air. I don't know why I'm playing music, I can just tell you. You'll never hear me discuss the following until I am directly affected. Leprosy, bank robberies, current African politics, and of course, yeast infections. One thing we can always fall back on, however, in a non-offensive conversational format is, of course, the weather. Oh, isn't it nice? We can talk about the weather. We find ourselves in quite a fruity time, quite a scorching, sizzling time, and what better way to enjoy a scorching, fruity, sizzling time than with an ice-cold, refreshing, fruity beverage. So here are your top 5 new fruit cider flavours for summer 2022. Top 5 new summer cider flavours. Number 5 is mango and mildew. Number 4 is tangy orange, WD-40 and lime. Number 3, grape, apricot and old man's hand. Number 2 is kiwi and peppercorn sauce. But number 1 is blackberry, banana and Sudocreme swirl. Refreshing. Antiseptic.
You're listening to Chris Pollard Live, paving the way for our nation's pickpockets.
Alright, welcome back to Chris Pollard Live, the coronavirus catastrophe, here live on Durham On Air, on DAB, on online radio, and indeed in video at mixcloud.com/live/Durham On Air. There was the fantastic I Will Refuse by Ministry, and we are but now 30 minutes away from our guest dancers arriving into our COVID-safe space, where they will be bare knuckle fighting for a shot at survival. Think the Korean drama show Squid Games, but set in my garage instead. If you're just joining us at this point in the programme, you got some kind of death wish?
What's wrong with you, fella? Do you know who my brothers are?
We are still looking for the best answer for tonight's big question, which was indeed, what on earth can I do to make myself feel a bit better? We have a few answers here. We've had an answer from Ryan H. Have you tried coughing into the open hole of a guitar and then playing a really fast melody to disperse the germs more safely around the room? I have actually tried that. Yes, that was one of the first things that came up on my Googling research, so a bit of a basic response. I couldn't find a guitar. I had to find something with a sort of hole in the middle. And it turns out it's very hard to play a fast melody on a shoe. Not impossible, just very hard. It's out of my pay grade, let's say. Valerie is texting to say that when she was bedridden, nothing brought her more comfort and ease than placing a cold flannel on the forehead, some Vicks Vapor Rub on the chest, and sitting by her window screaming offensive obscenities at anyone walking past with a dog. This brought me great relief, she says, as she doesn't like dogs or the people that walk them. Thanks, Val. Here's your Chris Pollard Live Coronavirus Community Corkboard.
The County Durham Community Corkboard.
Just topping up on some fluids there. First up on your Chris Pollard Live coronavirus whatever. We are sorry, let's be professional here. Coming up first on your Chris Pollard Live coronavirus catastrophe community contact centre community corkboard is used lateral flow tests for sale, all negative. Are you missing the hustle and bustle of office life? Are you sick to death of being sat at home waiting for your week-long recovery to end? Well, your prayers have finally been answered. Call Allen Housing today and have up to 3 negative lateral flow tests delivered directly to your door within 2 weeks. Please do not ask for collection as opposed to delivery, because you've clearly got COVID, you numpty. Get back in the office and catch up on all the hot goss without having to wait for your slow old antibodies to develop. 40% off if you work for HMRC, an insurance company, or one of them places that rings old women and tells them the computer's broke and they haven't even got one. Let's get it spreading round there. Also in the community corkboard, homemade masks from Harry Cobham and Sons Butchers. Do you want to stay protected but stick it to these woke tree-hugging vegan softies? Well, get yourself some man-powered, or should I say pig-powered protection with our all-new N95 approved, COVID-safe, honey-glazed and 3-hour smoked beechwood ham face masks. Made only using the finest cuts of tender ham leg, cut to perfect size to allow maximum safety in public and maximum flavour in the mouth. Each ham mask fits around the head using our patented elasticated corned beef, and if you take 3 packs of 5 home today, we'll also throw in a full dead sheep's head. Please keep refrigerated when not in use. Seek bill payer's permission before calling. We have a personal posting here from Mildred. She's 85. She wants to let all listeners know that she has lost her inhaler at last week's Juice Collision Drum and Bass Festival in Cold Hesleden. She reckons she lost it sometime during the back-to-back set from DJ TK Maxx and MC Horrific Teeth, possibly in a mosh pit or possibly taken out of her pocket while she was necking on with that lad in the full Oldham athletic kit. If it is found, please let me know, as I don't have the time or money to get another one sorted before Amsterdam's Trance in Your Pants festival next weekend. It is black, it has a grey cap, and the side shows a picture of my grandson's award-winning cherry cheesecake. Pure ecstasy, she finishes. And I'm not sure, by judging the reading of that, if that's talking about the cheesecake or the reward. Mildred hasn't gone any further. Maybe she got a bit wheezy and needed to sit down. Anyway, those are all the items on the CPL CCCCCC. Thanks, Dr. Fauci. Thanks, Hillary. Thanks, Bill Gates. For computers. You know what I mean?
On Durham On Air.
Welcome back to the Chris Pollard Live Coronavirus Catastrophe Special. I'm not doing the voice this time. As time flies by tonight, I am legally obliged to let you know that if you want to make huge savings on a sofa this summer, just don't buy one. Also, as tonight progresses, we can still look forward to that world exclusive preview of my brand new documentary, Me and Captain Birdseye. God, I miss that man. Now, it seems to me that much following in the footsteps of much of the mainstream radio offerings in the UK, our current TV mainstream highlights boiled down to a sickeningly bland vat of soulless, commercial-centric, shamelessly boring bile. It truly is the end of days. Luckily, in our enlightened and internet-connected Wi-Fi generation society, we are not above or indeed bigger than checking out some of the offerings from overseas, regardless of like what language they come in or subtitles. I mean, think about all these far luxury places abroad. We've got America, the USA, we've got Canada, we got other countries, we've got Australia, and we got Benidorm. I've really been getting into these sort of foreign language movies and TV shows that have been all the rage this year. And while I've been sort of on my metaphorical backside and physical backside, I thought I would fire off a few that I'm certainly, most certainly, going to be giving a full 5-star review to in the Chris Pollard Live COVID series link.
Series link.
So yeah, just some of the foreign language and foreign style features that I've been indulging since I first got poorly. First up on Amazon Prime is Ace Texas's 50th Sweatiest Steakhouse Experiences. It's a pretty self-explanatory documentary series. Master griller Ace Texas faces his toughest challenges yet. Even more meat. with a few chips on the side for dipping in the meat sauce. Next up is the aforementioned Benidorm, a lovely little documentary series I found quite funny at times about this group of Spanish families that all live in a hotel. Also in my Hot Foreign Criterion collection, 2 pints of Bud Light and a pack of chips. It's a US reboot of one of our most unbeloved sitcoms. Absolutely nobody loved it, nobody laughed at it, but you could always reliably just bang it on UK TV Gold or Dave, and then when everyone's hammered and they come in, they put that on, because that's what they've been ordering all night. I don't know why. Also in my international languages selection, make sure you got the subtitles on for this one. It's a film called Forrest Gump. It took me a while to find the subtitles button because I was laughing at how wacky these foreign dialects and languages can get. But if you can get the captions on, you're in for a very, very special treat of a film. It's about a man who runs until his beard falls off. Good film. But my top foreign international top pick of the week has gotta be live weekend baseball. Go Jets, touchdown, and that's the game. I love being so cultured and well travelled. Put it on your Instagram as well. Give it a go. You'll feel so much more important than everyone else. You're listening to the Chris Pollard Live Coronavirus Catastrophe. I'm off to top up one of these many glasses with shoe polish. I'll see you after this next ad break.
He's got blob bob. He's got mop top.
Chris Pollard Live, a lifeline for those with lime scale. On durhamonair.
Alrighty. Hold on tighty. Welcome back to the only show on the radio that simply refuses to budge on its stance on the smell of Play-Doh. Don't make it smell that good if you're not allowed to eat it. It's as simple as that. You're back with the Coronavirus Catastrophe special here on Durham On Air, on DAB, live, on normal radio, online radio, DAB radio, and on video at mixcloud.com/live/Durham On Air. You have just heard Mopped Up by Sleaford Mods, of course, the fantastic. And before the ad break, you heard Salad Days from Minor Threat, all the way back in 1985, 10 years before I was born, and indeed 10 years before the first time I ever cried. Isn't that sad? While yes, it's time to do a bit more crying, because while I've had a lot of fun at my own expense here tonight, and I'm sure I've enjoyed this far much more than you have, apart from the power cut part. I bet you that was quite enjoyable for you. Let us not forget that COVID-19 is still a virus, and that isn't a very fun thing at all. It has proved to be amongst the deadliest of all time, one that even money and fame couldn't help stop, taking away our 21st century top superstars and icons. Let's just take a look back now at the terminus and those who we have lost since the pandemic started. Our most notable, treasured names who will be missed forever, taken of us far too soon by a stupid idiot of an illness. I'd like to pay tribute to them right now. Actor and US talk show legend, Scrubs my boy. Tennists. Somber. Tennis sir. Can't even say it. TV actor and radio pioneer, Norris Badchop. Tennis star Sigurdsson romance. Inventor of the apricot Brian Cream. Wrestling legend Norman Ferris, aka Cheesy John Smegma. Tag team champions, the Chokehold Sisters. Wrestling chairman, Coffin Mickey Valentino. TV chef, Bob Boobs. DJ and reality star, QuickTime Java. Peter Kay impersonator, Big Gary Ramsbottom. Window cleaner and chain smoker, Darren the Slaphead. And of course, we could go on for the rest of the night, but only one can take so much distress, trauma, and anguish in one sitting. So let's shake off this mood with a bit more music. 2 meters apart on the dance floor, please, and I'll be right back with you when the kettle's boiled. Rest in peace.
Everything is fine the way it is.
This is a certified hood classic.
Alright. What a rubbish kettle I've bought. Welcome back to Chris Pollard Live, the coronavirus catastrophe video special, where I forget the name of it every time I try and remember it. You can check the rest of this out. We've got about 25 minutes left. If you want to see the last 25 minutes live in video, please do go over to mixcloud.com/live/Durham on air. That voice really is starting to go again, isn't it? You can also listen to this, of course, on DAB and online radio, but that's probably what you're doing anyway, so you don't need me to tell you that. How would you hear that and you need to know that, you know? Keep your messages coming in, though. Sorry. Thick and fast for our big question tonight, which is quite simply, how can I feel better, please, for the love of G's? Also, keep your personal pledges coming in as is regular every week on the show. How do you plan on enhancing your surroundings in a locally minded manner? You can do all that fun stuff, all that contributions, and be in with a chance to win your big question, big prize tonight by texting studio plus your message to 88802. You can email studio@durhamonair.com. And you, by Jove, can tweet at Durham on air, and more for you for doing it. Is that how you say that saying? Is that the saying? I don't know anymore. I can't wait to be finishing the show later on, ladies and gentlemen, and swapping from day nurse to night nurse. Thank you to both of those nurses for taking care of me in this time of need. Now, I hope you are feeling better after that quite somber music break. We did have to deal with quite a distressing topic there before we heard... it wasn't the ad break, so it was the White Stripes. Very, very, very both down a commercial route, I'm sure you'll agree. But it conveniently leads us into our next COVID-related content trump. As we were all, stuck inside during the pandemic for so long, it was so annoying. There wasn't much to watch on TV that was that good, and some of us had to resort to the classic format of listening to some hip-hop records. Both, from homegrown right here in the UK, some great pop music coming out, along with some cracking content washing up ashore from a far overseas ocean. Can you have oceans overseas? 88802 studio plus the answer to that one. So I wanted to just compile for tonight's show a short list of the favourite songs that have gotten personally me through this quite dark period in everybody's life over the last 2 years. Hopefully you'll either agree with me or maybe even hear a couple of songs you might not have heard yet. That'd be fantastic. I mean, don't disagree because that's just not really on, is it? That's not very nice. So let's see if we've got any other music here for the old. Let's not play the death music again. Let's go with this. Here are my top 5 2020 all the way through to the current day hot pop classics. At number 5, my top number 5 COVID banger was Bruno Mars's fantastic cover of Elvis's Lonely Without Pork Scratchings. I've got that on nearly repeat. I did have it on as my alarm for a while, but it makes you hate songs, doesn't it? And at 4, I've got the return of ABBA and their non-stop dance thumper, Springtime Verucas. Again, constant rotation since that came out in 2021. In at number 3, I've got the heart twisting and the soul collapsing soul of the late great Bobby Womack. The newly discovered throwaway track that was buried away in one of his personal vaults all that time, and I'm so glad that the world could hear it in all its finesse, beauty and poise. It is, of course, Where's My Car Keys? Number 3 is going to take some beating, but get a beating it just about does, with some West Coast vibes from the 2 best ever to do it. You know it. They played the Super Bowl halftime show this year. I'm of course talking about Delicious Dinner and Mayhem Murgatroyd with their comeback hit Dripping in Dinner Money. But my number 1 hit of the last 2 years, one that only really came out this year but had me shook to the very core on the first listen. It was an absolute heart attack of a song, 9.5 minutes of unadulterated, blistering industrial warfare, pulsing death rays of bass smashing into thick abrasive percussion I previously thought impossibly heavy. Pick up every copy you can before the RSPCA get it pulled from the shop shelves. What other track could I be talking about to drop this year other than Blood Blister by none other than Cliff Richard and the 4 Horsemen of Death Neglect Asylum. He ain't no Christian boy no more. Hail Stan. Oh, I've read that wrong in Microsoft Word. Hail Stain. Hail Stains. We'll be right back after System of a Down. And some adverts. Yeah, I'm sorry. Alright. Welcome back to Chris Pollard Live, the Coronavirus Catastrophe Special. And what a catastrophic special it certainly has been. I do hope you have enjoyed it though, as it winds down into its final moments. My throat indeed also nearing its final moments during that last song, which was of course Ferryboat of the Mind by Clinic. Before that, Radio Video by System of a Down before the ad break, one of my favourites of all time. Would love to see them release some more new music in this current state of affairs. Everything is just slowly shutting down for the evening, isn't it? We have had your big question out there today with the best answer. The big question. This is exactly what I'm talking about, amateur level stuff. The big question tonight was, of course, what on earth can I do to make myself feel better? And the big prize was, of course, that luxury voucher for 3 games of bowling and free food at Doncaster Super Bowl. We have our last 4 here. Submissions for the evening. Harold Q. Pembroke says, make sure you completely submerge yourself in piccalilli 7 times a day. It won't cure the virus, but it will certainly take your mind off it for a while. Bridget has messaged in, my favourite feel-good remedy is to order 85 quid's worth of Chinese food from different takeaways and one by one kick the delivery drivers' heads in. It's sweaty work and it also helps me deal with my classism issues. Fair enough. We've got a message in from Prognosis. Have you tried fiery ginger beer? If that isn't strong enough for your tastes, why not add some ground ginger to your beard and then set it on fire? And our final one has come in from Albus, which simply says, how did you put a name in a goblet of fire? And that one is the last one, so do you know what, Albus, we're going to give that to you. You are the proud recipient of that game of bowling tomorrow, 8 p.m. at Doncaster Super Bowl. Wow. A lot of things wrong with me right now, but here's your top 5 symptoms that no one told me about. Number 5, ever-rotating shin bones. Number 4, general whimsy. Number 3, the urge to write civil rights poetry. Number 7, getting sloppy with numbers. But number 3, toilet cheese.
This your boy, you're listening to Chris Pollard Live, and I gotta tell you, I love licorice.
Alright, it's time to bring an end to the Chris Pollard Live Coronavirus Catastrophe special. And unfortunately, we never really did get to the bottom of just why Simon Cowell has done that to himself. Maybe next time a pandemic swings round, we'll finish up and we'll finish that experiment properly. Thank you very, very much for joining me, but these old lungs of mine have puffed out a bit too much hot air, and it's time for me to go. I hope after watching this, you are now in as much pain as I am. Good night. Don't drink and drive. Smoking kills. Gamble responsibly. Never trust anyone. Wales is a lie. Get well soon. Peace.